What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. So check it out. When women checking out men, they are either looking for nest appeal or sex appeal. And I did a video on that a few years ago, right? But I had I'm presumably a young lady talk about that, comment on that on like one of my older videos. Because remember that y'all can comment on something I did like 10 years ago. And I'll see the comment. Because trust me, I be checking. That's why dudes don't be getting away with shit. Anyway, right? Nest appeal or sex appeal. Now, she might use that now. I had gotten it from somebody, this other young lady, did a video on it. In fact, I'll put a link to that video. I talked about it a few years ago. Nest appeal and sex appeal. And I said where I got it from. This young lady, another young lady has said it. Presumably another young lady. But check it out though, right? Check it out. One of the things every man has to understand, when women looking at a man, they looking at nest appeal. Now that's a good husband, provider, somebody they can hang out with, being a good family and all of that. You know, let me shout out this one content creator. I don't think she's been on here in a while. Nicole Michael, I forgot her last name, but she had talked about men, you know, some men are sexy fine and some men are husband cute. Like a lot of women, they'll try to have, you know, the husband cute guys, they cute enough to be husbands. They ain't, you know, they fine enough or, you know, appealing enough to be husbands. But, you know, meanwhile, the sexy fine dudes, they just want to have sex with them. And it's the same thing with that nest appeal thing. And I mean, different people have talked about it. Like a book I've talked about often. Like this book I've talked about a few times. Money issues in black male-female relationships. But it really applies to any race, any group. Man, money issues, you know, the author, may he rest in peace, George Sabiro, he was talking about, you know, there's a big difference between a good husband and a good boyfriend. And a good husband, you know, is that guy, he can take responsibility for everything. The boyfriend is just for fun. And often the boyfriend doesn't make a good husband and everything. So different people, though, here's the bottom line, different people have talked about it. Nest appeal, of course, that guy who looks like he can be a good husband. Sex appeal, the guy who looked like he can knock it out the box. And I was thinking about that after I saw the comment, and then, you know, like I said, I put a link to a video I talked about it a few years ago. And when you really break it down, women aren't really that complicated when they look at a man. In fact, let me shout out Cousin T-Talk, because he had talked about that briefly in his book, The Seduction Scriptures. And because when women looking at a man, they ain't thinking a whole lot of stuff. They can be straight and to the point. Yeah, they look at everything about a man, but really it comes down to where do they want to put him, what category they want to put him in. Indeed, when I first had my book Nice Guys and Players out, like I said, the first edition of it, I had a bunch of women, they checked it out. They went over it and everything. And they were trying to add some stuff. They were trying to add some stuff. But in general, they agree with the categories. Like, because that's one thing a woman is always doing, categorizing different men. They're going to put them into different categories as soon as they look. They do it in 3 seconds or less. They do it real quick. You know, this one would be like the good friend guy. This might be the breaking case of emergency guy. This the guy husband type. This the guy the sex type. But if we just break it down just for the sake of this car video, just for nest appeal and sex appeal. See, nest appeal, they'll look at a guy, like I said, he'll make a good husband or something. And the interesting case is, he might not turn them on, like, to a great extent sexually. They'll still deal with him. They're like, oh, okay, he got a good job. He's good for, whatever group that they're with. Because like a good friend of mine, I always talk about her and how religious she is. I found out she just got engaged. And I just checked out the Facebook page of the guy she got engaged to. He's all up in the church just like her. Like, it's also a class thing. Like, if you get a woman who's professional, she's educated, shout out Master Teacher BGS. He'll talk about the octane model, like a 92 octane. The ideal husband for her is somebody equally educated, a professional. If she's an attorney, she's looking for that doctor or attorney or CPA, something like that. And that's what they looking for the good husband. Now, that's the nest appeal. Somebody they could build with, maybe build a family with. But the sex appeal guy, that's not the long-term guy. That's the guy she'll cheat with that guy. That's the guy who can knock it out the box. She getting wet. She dripping wet. She see that guy, she taking off her panties, talking about, I'm gonna be needing these. And actually on that level, a lot of stuff that they might be concerned with in the, on the surface, like his religion, his social class, stuff like that, might not be as important. In fact, they'll dip into the sexual shadow world, which I haven't talked about in a long time, with the guy who got sex appeal. That'll be the case where, an older woman might deal with a younger guy who got really nothing to offer her, other than, a good stiff one. That's the sex appeal guy. That's not as important. All that, when it's just pure sex, all that other stuff like age, social class, money, ain't as important when it's just sex. Now, when it's nest appeal, they looking at the money then. They are looking at the money. They ain't fucking them for the money. But they looking at would he make a good husband, and they looking at a whole lot of factors there. In fact, it's the weirdest thing. If a woman look at a guy for sex appeal, well, she might fuck him right there on the spot. She might get down on that floor and make love to his shadow. Fuck him in the bathroom or something, at the club, whatever. That's a quick one. Give him a hand job in the parking lot. Somebody know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? Yeah, that might be some quick shit. But when it's like a nest appeal thing, well, they looking at all that other stuff. And see, if a guy doesn't have either one of those, he's pretty much in trouble. he's pretty much ain't gonna get it. In fact, anybody who's read my book, Nice Guys and Players, what do I start out talking about? I start out talking about the one man who's the good husband type, but the woman's cheating with another guy who's just there for sex. I start off Nice Guys and Players talking about that. And that's that same principle. Then those are guys, that's basically a hierarchy how women looking at them. Now, if you talking about just sex, well, definitely sex appeal. But then when they want to get married or something, that's the appeal. In fact, that could even go with age. When they like in their 20s and something, probably is more likely in general, sex appeal. If as they get older, they want that baby or something, then they start looking at nest appeal. And I'm going to tell you what, like I said, I'm out here in the real world. I lost count of how many women who I've known got with that one guy, because of sex appeal, but then end up marrying and having a baby with another guy. In fact, that guy should check just in general. but having a child with another guy, building a family. But then when they cheat, and you get a lot of women out there who they'll get that nest appeal guy, and he a good husband and everything, but then you get some my bad situations with him. You get some my bad situations. Like I would tell the guys, if you have any questions, double back home one day. And even then, you get some women, and that's a whole other conversation. And that's something I actually talk about women cheating on my Patreon. Like I said, I get deeper into stuff on my Patreon. I'm talking about that. I'm actually got something, podcast I'm doing on that tomorrow, just women cheating. You know? Because they'll marry the nest appeal guy and then cheat with the sex appeal guy. And one thing this commenter, like I said, I guess it was a young lady, pointed out, if they can get both in a man, oh shoot, the woman's happy. They get nest appeal and sex appeal in a guy. They get that guy who can knock it out the box, but take care of business like a good husband. Shoot. Really, that's the whole point of the whole nice guys and players philosophy. Being that man who could be both the nice guy who can take care of business, take care of important stuff, keep the bills paid, but that player could still knock it out the box. That's the whole point of it. That's my whole philosophy right there. But unfortunately, in the eyes of many women, you don't have many guys who can do both. So a lot of times they'll split it. They'll split it. Like when they want to, that biological clock ticking, they go for that nest appeal. Like I said, when they start out in their teens and 20s, it's that sex appeal guy. It's how good he looks and everything. But then it's more the nest appeal guy, like in their 30s and stuff, when they trying to have that baby. Now, when they get older than that, after they had the kids or something, honestly, it depends on the woman. It depends. It's not a general thing with the woman after they get the kids and the kids got some age on them or something like that. It could be just companionship, companionship and steady sex. Maybe not the guy who turned them on like totally, but the guy who could, give him that good, that good. On a steady basis. Come close. Pretty much like the guy who could be a nest appeal guy, they can take him out with them and everything. But then, give them enough of that good. It gets a little more complicated when they get older. But generally, that nest appeal thing and that sex appeal thing, that's really what it comes down to. Now, for guys, that's why a lot of guys actually lose out, because they don't have neither. If you talk to some women, really talk to them, a lot of guys in their eyes wouldn't make a good husband. So they don't have that nest appeal. And they definitely not turned on sexually by many guys. So they don't have that sex appeal. And it's some shit. It's some stuff. Because women really ain't that complicated. Guys, when women checking out men, they ain't that complicated. A lot of guys think they are and want to believe they are and tell themselves that they are, but they really not. They really not. They just really basics. When they looking at a guy checking them out 3 seconds, they don't get a lot of times to check them out, so they checking them out. They looking at him. It's like, okay, does he turn them on sexually? He got them dripping. Okay, the answer might be no. Then they might be like, oh, okay, would he make a good husband? Somebody they could chill out with. Maybe, look good enough to have a baby with. Man, they be thinking yes or no. If it's no, then, they pretty much don't even want to deal with the guy. In fact, Cousin Tito had mentioned that in his book, The Seduction Scriptures. Some guys just get to the point of women want to forget they looked at them. I'll put that link in the description box too. Y'all notice I always put Cousin Tito stuff But let's just say he's at the highest level of understanding about the game. He's at the high, one of the highest levels, close to it if he ain't at the highest. So, but you can get a lot just understanding how he sees it. You can get a lot because he understands this woman's nature, and you know their basic nature is, you know, can the guy be a husband? Can a guy be, you know, a sex partner? Other than that, that's when some guys get into like that friend zone thing, you know. And of course, there's some guys, I would call them breaking in case of emergency and stuff, but they got to be real persistent. What I call gamesmen in my books. They got to be persistent as hell, and usually a lot of times they don't be making it anyway with the women because they don't have nothing to offer. They wouldn't make good husbands. They ain't sexy, but you know sometimes a woman have a break-in in case of emergency situation. They just gotta get some, and they tired of their dildo. Seriously, they tired of their dildo. They want to have a nice one. And don't, hey, let me just say this about dildos. A lot of these women have them. That's a big business. You know, it's the sex toy industry. They ain't complaining about recession. They ain't complaining. But anyway, right? That's really what it comes down to. So if a man wants to get a woman, on some level, he got to honestly look like he'll be a good husband. Now, I know there's a lot of nice guys and stuff. They say, I'll make a good husband. I'll make a good husband. It takes a lot. You got to be a good husband, you got to have a lot. Because you got to be able to put up with it. You got to be able to, not just the good times, but bad times. You got to be able to handle shit. You got to be able to take charge. Shoot. Marriage is in many cases a business. That's why you see some couples around the planet, they get married. They ain't for no damn love. It's some business. Shoot, you got kids too? Yeah, because like I would always say, shoot, love is a dumbass reason to get married. Because love come and go, but you married, you got to stick with that. Shoot, you got money flowing. Shoot, it's like a little business. You get kids. You're really like in a micro nation and shit. But women, they'll look for that type of guy. In general. You know, they looking at that guy for that. So definitely nest appeal and sex appeal. One of the sad things is women only find a small percentage of men sexually appealing. You know, that's one of the reasons I push body game the way I do. And there's only, if you talk to women, there's only, I mean, it's just a reality. It's just a reality. If you talk to women, only a small percentage of men are even like appealing to them in a sexual manner. It is what it is. Ain't nothing to get mad about. It just is what it is. And, you know, of course, one of my things is like getting you at least to that point. And then, sometimes with that nest appeal and sex appeal thing, you know, as they get older, want those kids, they ain't trying to deal with that sex appeal guy, at least directly. They might cheat with him, but after a while, they start looking for that husband, that nest appeal guys. Like I said, especially they get older, they get in that the biological clock start ticking and everything. They start looking for the men they think will be a good husband and everything. That's why, I'm going to tell you what, that's why sometimes you will see like some women, they're with a guy and that guy don't look like he going to get a lot of women and stuff. You know? He don't look like no supermodel or something like that. But he decent looking, he fixed up and everything. And he cool, he can be that husband. That's when women look more in the personality of it. If it's a sexual thing, Yeah, as long as he can talk a little bit. Community, sometimes in those cases, depending on the man, he might be dumb as fuck. I knew this one dude who was tearing up women, but he was like tall and muscular. Probably one of the dumbest individuals I ever met in my life, but he had women like crazy. He had sex appeal. They thought he had sex appeal. Because I would watch the women like throw themselves at him. But he just wanted, I mean, I can't judge how they saw his looks. I'm assuming, you know, they liked him because of his height and his muscularity, but conversations with him, I don't know. I don't think it mattered to the women, though. But he had sex appeal. But would probably never get married. Because, like I said, in nest appeal, the woman looking for a lot of shit. Because that nest, you building that nest and everything, having that family, that's a big part of that is business. You dealing with kids, gotta like worry about where you sending them to school. Gotta worry about like emergencies. You gotta worry about a lot of shit. Ain't something you gonna fuck with. Ain't something you gonna fuck with. But anyway, though, yeah, thought about that. Yeah, check out those links I had in the description box. Like, get my parking. Gotta go ahead and do what I usually do. You know what that is, yo. Gotta buy my stuff. Gotta buy my stuff. Buy my vittles and everything. Do a little bit extra shopping today, though. I gotta get stuff for my sons. They'll be over this weekend. Sure, he look like somebody I know. Anyway, y'all. Yeah, that's the pill of sex appeal. If you seriously want to get some ladies out here, you gotta have one of them. You know? Preferably, you should have both. Preferably, you should have both. Oh, and incidentally, you know, I usually get some dudes who think, well, I get two types of dudes whenever I talk about anything. Either those who haven't listened closely to everything I said, or they just clueless, and I'm going to get into that tomorrow, or they disagree or something, and I just know they don't have no game. And I also think they're stupid because they haven't listened closely. You know? You either get that, or they think they have both. They say, yeah, I got both. Well, if you got both, shoot. If women ain't trying to just throw you the pussy and shit and bothering the shit out of you, no, you don't have both. All right? And then to know if you got nest appeal, you know, those are women who want to get to know you. Those are ones who they want to find out everything about you. They want to go on legitimate dates with you and stuff, not just to get your money, but find out where you going, what you doing in life, and everything. You know, and ironically, when they see you like that as something long term, they don't give you the pussy right away. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, they don't give you the pussy right away. Yeah, it's cold out this building, right? But sex appeal, shit, it is right, like I said, right there on the spot. You might get it within an hour of meeting her. Shit, you might be working in a store or something, and shit, they let you like fill up on them or something. Yeah, but anyway, though, that's all I got for now, y'all. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.